And breaking tonight, a suspicious death is under investigation in St. Johns County tonight. A man found dead at the La Terra Apartments in World Golf Village.
So this is what we know right now. The Putnam County Sheriff's Office is investigating because the death is connected to a man who was investigating the Michelle O'Connell case. To tell you a little bit about this, according to Putnam County, investigators say that man is not a St. Johns County Sheriff's officer. He's just a private citizen who was investigating the case.
So let's take you back to 2010. That is when Michelle O'Connell was found dead in the home she shared with her boyfriend, St. Johns County Sheriff's deputy, and her death was ruled a suicide. Her family, though, believes that she was murdered.
And it's a story that's made national news. On your side's Eric Alvarez is joining us to explain what we know right now about this suspicious death.
Yeah, that's right, guys. This story has made national news since back in 2010 when Michelle O'Connell was found dead from a gunshot wound. The source of that bullet, her boyfriend's service weapon. Again, that boyfriend was a St. Johns County Sheriff's deputy. Now, Michelle O'Connell's family believes because a deputy was involved in this shooting death, the St. Johns County Sheriff's Department should have handed the investigation off to an outside agency, which did not happen. Because of that, there have been a number of inquiries over the years into this case from private citizens as well as journalists from all over the country. Now, what happened here today is the St. Johns County Sheriff's Department responded because a man was found dead here at World Golf Village. When they made the connection that this individual had been performing an individual investigation into the Michelle O'Connell case, at that point, the St. Johns County Sheriff's Department called the Putnam County Sheriff's Department to come and be involved, actually to spearhead this investigation in an effort to provide transparency and to eliminate any instance of conflict of interest. Now, we've been trying to figure out who this person is who died here and their connection to this case. We were told this individual does not have any ties to law enforcement, and we asked Major Steve Rose of the Putnam County Sheriff's Department to elaborate, and this is what he had to tell us.
He is a person who is just a private citizen who decided to take up a individual investigation on his own behalf into the Michelle O'Connell death that occurred back in 2010. And due to that having an affiliation with the Sheriff's Office for the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office for transparency elected to defer to an outside agency to come in to do the investigation so that there's complete transparency.
Now, once again, we are being told the person who was found dead here at World Golf Village has no ties to law enforcement. But aside from that, we're not sure if it's a relative of Michelle O'Connell or perhaps a journalist. At this point, we still do not know that. This is an active, ongoing investigation. We're going to work to find out more information, and we'll bring you the latest tonight on First Coast News at 6. Reporting live in St. Johns County, Eric Alvarez, First Coast News, on your side.